The developers at MinMax Games are back with Space Pirates and Zombies 2, now on Steam Early Access. It is a bigger, better, and more beautiful game than its predecessor in every way. It's also quite a different game as well. It almost feels like this is what the two-man team at MinMax Games wanted to make 5 years ago. Because the original Space Pirates and Zombies, or SPAZ for short, came out in 2011. It was received with critical success and was one of my favorite games of that year. I would continue to talk about and recommend it for years. It was a top-down RPG-style arcade shooter that kept you engaged, and where you'd end up playing for hours on end. SPAZ was not short on progression and making you feel like the galaxy was changing around you. It was a great achievement for these guys, and the sequel is continuing with empowering the player in SPAZ 2. While the disease of zombies has just about been extinguished, pirating has risen as resources have become scarce, and survival is of utmost importance. This war has taken a toll. In Space Pirates and Zombies 2, you are not the hero, savior, or anything centric to the goings-on in the game. Factions are rising and falling, and battles are happening even in remote places of space where people are contesting control of it. There are also 200 persistent captains in the universe that are as capable as you are, able to upgrade and grow their fleets to greater significance. One thing those who have played SPAZ will notice is that SPAZ 2 shifts from 2D to 3D visuals. While you might think that it majorly changes things, it really doesn't. It's purely for aesthetics. When in free roam or combat, movement is still done on a 2D plane with camera relative controls, much like a first-person shooter. It is a game where your ship is like a naval warship, and you must use your broadsides for effective combat. This is a more tactical game, and is all the better for it. You can build your own ship and rearrange its parts at will. As you amass your fleet of ships, it's all about maximizing the damage per second each ship is able to output. This will require you to trade, pillage, and take part in fleet battles. If you lose a battle, you will have the option to start over or revert to your last save, manual or quick save. The game is certainly not easy, so be sure to save often. The star map is almost a separate mode to the game. It is how you travel to and from each system and perform many actions. It's like an RTS this way, and time moves only when you move. It is here where you scan for resources and can gather lore about what's going on in the universe. As you travel from system to system, you'll use res, the game's fuel resource. It can be gathered by buying them in outposts or scanning planets. In order to buy meaningful upgrades to your ship and fleet, you'll need to collect scrap, the game's currency. This too can be found at planets or by defeating lesser ships in combat. The developers have stated that the campaign is more of a tutorial for the sandbox mode, and that's where the real game is. And certainly the campaign does guide you well enough so that you actually learn what's being taught to you without being thrown in the deep end. SPAZ 2 may be in early access, but it is far from a game in early development. It's actually close to being done, and so it feels and plays great. This is the sequel that I've been waiting for, and it's been all possible due to the first game's success. For those interested, I put a link to the game in the description.